What is up, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So that was the formality we were looking for. Of course, it was essentially quite a dull match overall, but we ended up obviously winning, and we ended up winning 1-0, as you may all know. But obviously it sees us through into the last round of 32 as the group leaders in the competition in the Europa League. So we've got a clean record so far. We haven't lost a game within the group phases, so that's absolutely magnificent going forward. That obviously made that 22 games unbeaten, ladies and gentlemen. So again, fantastic result for the team, and great work from the manager and the way that he's managing his team. So of course, let's just talk about the starting lineup on the day. So a surprising goal really was Martinez. I did mention Martinez in my match preview, and essentially I was quite happy to see him. He's been at the club for about 8 years now, and he hadn't made a first team appearance for 20 months, ladies and gentlemen. He had been extremely patient, or he has been extremely patient to get his chances. Of course, we know Petr Cech is on the tail end of his career, so maybe Martinez will become the second choice keeper, and we will start to see slightly a little bit more of him. But if you do remember, he went out on loan to Getafe last season, and he's obviously come back and is keen to actually ignite his Arsenal career, so hopefully we can see more from him. But Martinez was the keeper, as mentioned. Jenkinson also made a start as anticipated, so Kratis was in there. Koscielny made his return, which we will talk about soon. Maitland-Niles was in there. El Neni, Willock and Nketiah. Ozil made his return to the team as anticipated as well. And we had the bright shining star of Saka. And up top, we had a surprise selection of Lacazette. So, of course, the game, as mentioned, was extremely dull. Wasn't really expecting much from the game itself. Even the stadium wasn't really full. Official attendance, I think, was about 21,000 people that turned up for that match. Of course, it was a bitter, cold December evening, so a lot of people wouldn't have actually been keen to go ahead and actually go and watch the game. Obviously, it was evident with the crowd that turned up for the match, but nonetheless, the team still went out and did the job. Of course, as mentioned, the score was 1-0. So we've made it through to the last round of 32 quite comfortably, as mentioned as well earlier. We've not lost a game throughout the whole of the group stages. Again, fantastic achievement from the team overall. Of course, things get slightly a little bit more difficult now as we go into the knockout phases of the competition, but I do believe Unai Emery has got the technical prowess to actually lead us into the latter stages of this competition. I'm quite confident in regards to this competition, so hopefully we can actually excel and proceed further into the competition. I'll take a semi-final. At the least I'll take a semi-final. I'd love to obviously reach the finals and obviously win the cup, but fantastic achievement if we can get as far as the semi-finals, and I do believe if we get that far, we will certainly be able to actually go and pinch the final. Of course, the teams involved in the competition this year will be slightly a little bit more difficult, but I've got great hopes for this particular cup. Moving forward, we obviously saw Koscielny come back, so he hadn't featured in the squad really since the semi-final of last season in the Europa League, and fantastic to see him back on the pitch. Of course, he is the club captain. He had his armband on. He obviously returned to his duties in the central defensive role. Of course, he wasn't kept that busy at all, so it was a good game to sort of ease him back into the swing of things. Of course, we know he has been training for the last 8 months or so, and he has been raring to get fit. Of course, we also know his contract's coming to an end at the end of this season. Will the club renew it? I highly doubt they'll be renewing his contract. Of course, his wages could be applied elsewhere. I have a feeling that Koscielny will decide to retire at the end of this season and obviously maybe opt for a coaching role within the club. He has been a fantastic servant for us, but he is going to be crucial moving forward this season. I do believe he's still got a huge part to play within this season. We've obviously lost Rob Holding, and Koscielny has certainly come back at the right time, so fingers crossed he will remain fit, and hopefully we can at least get a few good months out of him. But it was a fairly easy game for him to come back into the squad. Ozil also came back and looked a little bit laboured, looked a little bit jaded and tired, but of course he provided that fantastic assist that led to the Lacazette goal. It was a brilliant assist. Obviously, Nketiah had stolen the ball prior to that, passed it on to Ozil, and Ozil provided that fantastic pass into Lacazette, and Lacazette, lethal as he is, managed to finish the move with a lovely goal on his left foot, and the keeper had no chance. And of course, as mentioned, Lacazette was a surprise inclusion within the team, really. I wasn't expecting to see him, so hopefully this is obviously trying to get him match fit for the game at the weekend. Of course, we do know that he hadn't started the last 2 games through injury, missed the international duty as well. The last international break that happened, he had been called up to France, but he had to pull out due to injury. So again, fantastic goal from him. He's been absolutely amazing this season. I do believe he's on about 8 goals now this season in all competitions, so we're getting close to double figures. Same as Aubameyang, he's in double figures as well. So they are going toe to toe, which is fantastic to see that we've got 2 strikers in great form. Moving forward, with the young lad Saka, who came in on the left side of the pitch. So he was absolutely magnificent in my opinion. He was the shining star in the team, and of course he should have got himself onto the score sheet. He did miss a fantastic opportunity during the game, which he should have buried really, but it's a little bit of naivety in my opinion. He's got a lot to learn, but I hope Unai Emery will certainly nurture him and gradually introduce him into the first team. But it was great to see a young player from the youth academy joining us, and he looks absolutely fantastic, and I do hope he will develop to the player that we want to see. He will be obviously following in the footsteps of Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson has obviously found himself on loan, so hopefully that is the path Saka will also take into the first team. I like seeing youth team players coming into the first team. There's no better feeling really knowing that this player will give his all, due to the fact that he would have been at the club for a very long time since he was a kid. So I'm absolutely chuffed with the performance that Saka put in. He obviously deserved the Man of the Match award on the evening, but great young talent. Hopefully we'll see more from him. I really enjoyed what I saw from Willock as well in the central midfield role. He was very tenacious, full of energy, trying to make things happen, but unfortunately a goal didn't come for him. But fantastic performance from him as well. Martinez, we've already spoke about at the start. He has been extremely patient in my opinion, so hopefully we will see more of him. Nketiah had a sort of mixed bag game really, and I do believe the reason being he was being played out wide. He was sort of trying to drift in centrally where he could obviously make things happen. He likes playing as an out-and-out striker. Of course, he did end up getting a goal ruled out later on in the game, and of course it was ruled out for offside, but that could have been questionable. But of course he had a decent performance as well. I'd have liked him to do a little bit more, but this is also a learning curve for all these young players. Considering the circumstances, the result was great. So as mentioned, this is a competition I do believe that we will certainly be able to win if we apply ourselves correctly. We're in fine form this season. I see no reason why we can go all the way. I fear no team really who have dropped out of the Champions League into the Europa League. The only opponent that I maybe actually raise questions about really will most likely be Chelsea, but we'll obviously have to wait and see as we progress into the competition. But as usual guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.